for the Dream Trades Challenge, the $1 Million Challenge with Trading Strategy Guides. I'm Casey, your host today, and thanks so much for being here. I just want to get everybody started by checking out, make sure you guys can all hear me, see me, and all that stuff. Just give me a comment over there to make sure that the equipment's working, because, you know, sometimes it doesn't work. So I need to hear from you guys. It looks like there's a bunch of people showing up, so I just need a comment over here to let me know that it's working. We're not going to start for about 6 more minutes. Okay, great. Robin. Thank you, Robin. Awesome. Thank you so much. And good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. So one of the things I'm going to talk about today is we're going to be talking about the stock side. So we did Forex on Monday. Wednesday we did options, and then today we're going to do stocks. Now, something really cool is that I'm going to do a bonus trade today that I think you guys are going to be excited about. And the reason I'm going to do a bonus options trade, and the reason I'm going to do a bonus trade, is because I didn't use enough money in the first trade to get to the level that I wanted to, because it was a little bit lower on, and I'll explain that as we go, but yeah, so that's good. And I just want to thank everybody that participated in the giveaway last time, which is Wednesday, and we're going to do one next Wednesday also, so make sure that you hit the subscribe button and click the like or that little notification. And whether you're watching it on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, make sure you get notifications so that you can, know when I'm doing a trade and all that. So I'm going to update all of the trades. We did get filled on both of the 2 pending orders that I took, and we're going to be going over all that in detail. I'm going to be managing those trades. There's not a whole lot of work that needs to be done in the management. The cool thing about this whole $1 Million Challenge is once I'm done with being on the air, I actually don't do anything else. I don't do anything else at all. And so, it's just easy on the time side. The trading side has got a lot of training and education experience that needs to be had, but on the time side, it is very low. You can do really successful trading with, an hour or so a week. I'm echoing. Okay, I wonder why that would be. Anyone else getting that? Can check with I'm gonna do something here. So Lawrence made a great comment. He gets the featured comment of the day. You guys can see it on your screen. He says it's gonna blow up on YouTube. I hope so. That'd be great, because you know why? Because then we get a lot of people that can learn about how to trade and how to grow their accounts. That's really what we're looking for. So with that being said, I'm very excited about it. And if you guys ever have any questions or whatever, let us know. We're really happy to help. I'm happy to answer any questions along the way. And I also want to thank everyone that participated in the giveaway. There were a couple people that we sent out messages to, and they didn't respond yet. So if you're here on the live chat, or if you're watching today's show, please respond, because we want to make sure we get you what you got. But thank you guys so much for participating. And we're going to do it again next week. And we didn't get a huge turnout on the giveaway side. And so I want to go into some more details next time to show you exactly how it works. I probably wasn't really clear on how it was to go, because I would have gotten more people, I would have thought, because there was quite a few people on the show. So I'm going to give updates on all of the trades as we go along today. So don't worry about that. You'll know everything. I'm not going to hold anything back. It's all going to be for you guys to see. But I am going to do the training first. I'm going to teach about today's trade because I did the training on the Forex, then I did it on the options, and now I'm going to do the stock. And I'm very excited about this. I've got some great stocks that I've been spending a lot of time researching. And that's the one thing with the stock. The other stuff is not all, but it's a lot of chart pattern work, right? We're just trying to find chart patterns. With this, I'm looking for something that can really grow and double in size. And so I'm trying to find very high growth companies. And so it takes a good amount of research with that. So this is probably the most time consuming part for me to get set up is this part right here. And so we're getting ready to get started. I'm going to go ahead and switch it over and we're going to jump in because it's 9 o'clock right now. And that's what time I told everybody we'd start. So let's start. All right. So $1 Million Experiment. Today's session is on stocks. And stocks are pretty cool. They're great because it's really just ownership in a company, right? I look at as growing your wealth, there's really only a few vehicles to do it. Number one is to start your own business. My son, who's 14, came home from school yesterday and he said, "Dad, I actually finally learned something at school." It's like, usually all the information is totally useless. And he said, I learned that 90%, he said that out of all the millionaires in the world, 99% of those millionaires are entrepreneurs. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. And so he was really excited about that. And so here's the 3 ways that I think I've discovered to make a lot of money and to increase your cash flow. And number 1 is starting a business. Number 2 is real estate, investing in real estate. And if you invest in real estate, you do own a business. So it really falls into category number 1. And then number 3 is investing in trading. And again, when you're investing, you're just buying someone that's started their own business. You're just buying a part of the company. So rather than doing the legwork and building the company, you're just an equity investor in the company, right? So those are the 3 ways: starting a business, real estate, or investing. And I really think they all fall under business because if you're an investor, you're doing research, you're working. If you're a real estate investor, you're doing research, you're working. So all of that still falls under that category. So today we're going to talk about stocks, which is you own the stock, and it's owning a company. It's really cool that you can own a company. And if they grow, you grow because of the stock price. So disclaimer, everyone, disclaimer, this is for educational purposes only. Trading is risky. Don't do what I do. Do what's best for you. This is all educational. I'm not making any trade recommendations. Okay, during this challenge for myself, I'm going to attempt to grow 3 small accounts to $1 million, and that's $1 million each account. So that would be $3 million at the end. And so I'm going to be using 3 different accounts. One is a Forex account, one is a stock account, and one is an options account. And with each account, I'm doing 3 different strategies. So with the Forex account, I'm opening at a $2,100 balance. With an options account, it's $880. And with the stock account, it's $5,000. And so different balances because they have different leverage amounts, right? So because I'm trying to do this in 1 year, and so I calculated what the best starting point was. So with stocks, you have to have a little bit more money. That's the disadvantage. The advantage is you're not using leverage, so it's not as risky. With options, it's got the highest leverage, and Forex also has very high leverage. So this strategy, number 3, the 3rd strategy, this is the 3rd one in the series, and we're gonna, after this series, after the first 3, I'm just gonna not teach too much about the strategy. I'm still gonna teach, but I'm gonna mainly do trade updates. This is just to get you started on what I'm gonna be doing. And remember, this is for a full year, and we're gonna be taking this journey to see how far it goes. So starting with a larger amount with stocks because there's no leverage, right? So with options, there's a lot of leverage. You're buying an option to buy a stock at a certain price, and so that option is very cheap. And the one we bought yesterday or on Wednesday was like $2, right? We bought CRM, Salesforce, for $2. The actual stock price is 200 and something. So you can see there's leverage there. You're getting it for $2 when the price is way more. So again, like I said many times, the reason why we do more is because there's no leverage in stocks. You have to pay the full price of the stock. With an option, you can buy it much cheaper. And so for me to hit my $1 million, I had to have a little bit more money. But with that being said, it's the safest way. It's the best way. It's the most recommended. I think this is also going to be the easiest path to get there. Still no guarantee. So if you're just beginning, I would recommend this path. And if you don't have 50,000 to start, well, you don't need to start with 50,000, and maybe you just want to try a slower route. You know, you don't have to do $1 million in a year. You could do $1 million in 3 years. But again, you have to plan this according to your personal strategy. So let me show you how the trades are going to go. So I'm going to be doing trades to $1 million, or starting with 50,000, and it's going to take 6 trades. And the reason it's going to take 6 is because I could be in these. I'm planning. My strategy is to get into these trades for 2 months, because stocks, you know, to double, it might take some time. Okay, and that's the hope, is that I can do it in 2 months. That's the real challenge of this as well, is because if you can't double in 2 months, then you fall behind the curve, and maybe I'll only hit 2 trades in that time. Well, then I won't hit my goal. So that's the biggest thing. If I lose on the first trade, I'm out of this series again, because I'm going to put the entire amount on. And with the money management, I'm going to risk 50,000 on the first trade. And if I hit my target on it, I will risk the entire profit on the next one. So I'm just going to keep leveraging it up and keep moving forward. And so each trade, I will also leave some balance in. I'm not going to put I said I'd risk the entire, but what I meant to say is I'm going to risk the entire profit with the exception of enough money to take another trade, so that I will always be still in the game. You want to stay in the game. You don't want to lose everything. Okay, so here's the sequence here that I'm looking at. Trade number 1 is going to be 50,000. And then trade number 2 will also be 50,000, because my balance would be 100. If I win, you can see here's the balance is 100. And so after that, I'm going to leave 50,000 in the account. But for this first one, I'm just going to do a 50,000. And so also, as this progresses, I'm going to keep the 50,000 in and just continue to increase my trade. So trade 4 would be 200, trade 5, 400, and then trade 6 is 800,000. And so if I win that trade, it would be 1.6 million with the attempt of doubling. And so that seems crazy that you could do that. And my goal is 2 months per trade, 6 trades. And so that's really slow. It's like, okay, I'm going to be coming in every week on this, and you'll be like, oh, this is boring now because this guy has been holding this stock for 2 months. How boring is that? But you know what? Patience is required in trading. You got to wait. You got to be patient for your setup to happen. Okay. So I believe that this is the challenge here. I believe this is the easiest of the paths and has some advantage, such as no leverage. It's safer. So the stock actually has to go to 0 for you to lose all your money. Whereas the option, if it expires before hitting your price, then you lose everything, right? So you're risking everything. With stocks, you have to the stock has to go to 0. The company has to go out of business in order for you to lose everything. And it happens. There's been stocks that have gone from 100 to $1. Then you still lose 99%. So there's still risk involved. So some of the challenges, this is the biggest challenge, finding a stock that makes the big move within 2 months. That's a huge challenge. That's going to be the hardest part. So I've really been trying to calculate that and time that. The second one is winning 6 trades in a row. That's another big challenge. And then this third one is probably just like it is a sideways stock and a loser for too long. Because remember, if your stock isn't moving in your direction or your trade's not moving in your direction, then you are not making money, and that capital, you might be going sideways, you might not be losing money. Let's say you buy something and it's $10 a share. Well, you're still holding it at $10 a share, then you're not making money. And there's another stock over here, a better stock that you could have had your money in, and that's making money. So holding a stock that's not going up is actually causing you to lose money. And so might have to make some tough decisions along the way. If I'm holding a stock for a month and I see another one that's about to take off, I might roll my money from one trade to another just so that I can, keep the stuff moving forward. So pretty interesting. It's going to be a great learning experience for a lot of people on that. So let's talk about the strategy. So trying to find strong trends and then try to time the entry to continue the trend to be able to get enough movement to hit my targets. I'm going to be looking at weekly charts, daily, 4-hour. I'm going to find growing revenue, and also try to find one that could double in the $10 to $50 range, maybe even a little lower. It could even be higher, but that's kind of what I'm looking for, and I'm going to in-depth research. So if we talk about number 6, and I'll show you some charts here, but if we talk about number 6, which says in the lower dollar amount, it's easier for a stock to go, and it just is. It's easier for a stock to go from 5 to 10 than it is to go from let's look at Amazon, from 3,000 to 6,000. Right? We could buy it. We could do the Amazon in this, but do I really think Amazon's going to go from 3,000 to 6,000 in 2 months? No. But do I think that a company that's just taking off and it's really exciting and everybody's really cool on, do you think it could go from 5 to 10? Yeah, it's much more likely. So that's why the downside with that, Amazon's more stable. Some of these early growth stocks can drop really fast. I've been in some very recently that just took a tank after I got into them. And so we're going to have to keep our eyes on that to make sure that we're managing our risk well and that doesn't happen to us. So if we look at this next slide, this is a stock that I just traded, and this is a really great example. If you can see right here, I ended up getting in at 375. That was my entry point right here because I had this trend line. I was watching it and it broke out, and I got in right here at 375. Okay, well, I held it, nothing. It was like, this is a loser. And then all of a sudden it took off and it went from 375 up to $11. Okay, that's 350% return in only 3 weeks, in only 2 weeks. So that's what we need to find. And again, that's the challenge. That's where it's hard because you don't know. So a couple things is we want to look for some catalysts, which is upcoming news. Analysts making a recommendation. There's a lot of different things that can move a stock to going up. So with that being said, let's go ahead now. That's the challenge. And let's go ahead and take a look at a couple stocks. Wait, before I do that, I want to just view our other trades. So we have right here is the Forex trade. Oh, I got the Forex trade is we entered in right here, and you can see it was across, and the momentum is now starting to go. So this is one of the challenges here on this. It made a nice move initially, and I was up about 65 pips. Let's take a look at it on a 4-hour time frame. The 4-hour crossed over, and it broke out right here. It broke this uptrend. And the reason I took this trade in the first place is because it is an uptrend. You can see we're in a nice uptrend. It bounced off the moving average and continued to the upside. And so right now we're pulling back. And so my goal here was to double this trade. I'm currently up $947. And so $947 is a pretty good gain. If we look here, my balance is $2,140. And I'm trying to close this out, which would be $2,162. You can see that my swap right here is $1.60, and that means I'm paying interest for holding this trade. So every day that I hold this, I have to pay this swap. And so that's something we want to consider because that will go off the profit. But right now we're pulling back. And so my hope is now that this trend will hold, this current trend will hold. We have an uptrend happening right now, okay? And we also have a channel that's forming. So let me see if you guys can see that. Let's change these colors. I like blue. Blue is a nice color. But you can see here that we have a nice hourly channel and it's moving at a nice clip, just nice. So what I'm hoping is it will come right back down here. Well, actually what I'm hoping for is that it instantly turns and goes right to my profit. That's what I'm hoping for. But you got to understand that how the market moves. The market moves in zigs and zags. It moves up, down, up, down, up, down. So I'm hoping for it to stall out somewhere in here, somewhere along this trend line, and then continue back up to the target. That's the idea. But right now we're in a pretty safe position. I'll have to consider what to do when price gets back down here, because I have right now, if you remember from the first day, if I lose this trade, I'm done. So if I move my stop loss to break even, then I will have another chance to get in, or if I could lock in some profit, right? So my goal is to double on every trade, but I might not be able to do that, right? I might have some trades where I only get a 50% winner, and that will adjust my planning. But still, if you get 50% winners, you're still going to do really well, right? You're still going to grow rapidly. And as I said also in the first session, if I don't hit it, if I don't hit $1 million, maybe I still make 50,000. And you know, 50,000 is still a great year, right? You got to, I'm going for the million, but if I don't get it, I'm not going to beat myself up, and I'm going to adjust this accordingly. So I'm going to be watching this. I don't want to move the stop loss yet. The reason is because I feel like this is the logical place for it to go. And so you could say there's a couple decisions, and I'm just thinking out loud. I'm just sharing my thought processes. So decision number one would be put a really tight stop on this thing at like $800. Right? Put a tight stop at 800 like this. Let's look at where 800 is. Okay. And I can't see because the tool's blocking it, but let's say this is 800. Well, then if it goes down, I can always get back in here. So that's one rule of thought. Move it, take 800. If it comes back down here, just get back in the trade and then hit the full winner from there. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is if it gets down here and it breaks below, then that means that we're probably going even lower. So let's look at the chart. If it breaks this trend line here, there's a very good possibility that we come back down here. Because if we look, we have a long-term trend line that is in play. What's that? There we go. So we have this long-term trend line in play. And so if it hits this, I think there's a good opportunity to bounce off of this. And so that's one of the reasons why I took this trade, is because this gives me a nice barrier. But if it breaks, I think we could go down, could go lower, hit this moving average. So I want to make sure that I have an opportunity to get as much profit as possible on this particular trade. So so my stop loss just moved. Okay. So my target, now my target's up a little higher. So If we continue to move up here and it breaks above this moving average, this 200 period, I think that we got a good opportunity to get higher. So I like this particular trade. It's working out really nice right now, but the most important thing is to protect my profit. So let's take a look at it on a lower time frame. And I'm just going to do this just for calculation purposes. Let's go ahead and let's grab this. Okay, so if I go right, and I don't want to stop out on accident, I'm just trying to calculate. If I put my stop here, that's about a $700 stop. So $700 would be good, and that way I don't get myself in an opportunity to take a loss. Let's take a look at this. So it's a pretty nice place to put my stop loss. I would not be upset with a $654 trade, right? And, you know, as I'm sharing this, I get some people that are sharing what they're going to do. Like Kenneth said that I don't know if you're in the trade or not, you know, this is for educational purposes, but if you're in the trade, Kenneth is saying, hey, I'm going to protect it. And that's fine, right? This is up to you. This is all part of the experiment. And this is why I'm thinking out loud. I take my time and I'm doing it slow because I'm just trying to get all my thoughts out here. The only drawback with this, this is actually fine. Here's the drawback, and you got to remember this. You cannot control the market. You can only control yourself. That's all you can control, okay? You cannot control the market. I have no idea what's going to happen. So with that being said, what if it comes down, hits this stop, and then takes me right to the target? So here's the question that you have to ask yourself. How emotionally upset will you be if that happens? Will you be like, oh man, you know, I should have just left it, right? Because that is ultimately what happens a lot. You can get taken out and go up. The other option, which Robin, I'm going to post Robin's comment. Robin, great question. If you guys look at the screen, you can see Robin's comment. What if you go to intro, then there's zero risk on the trade? So that's another option here that we could do. And so we could move the stop loss right here, okay? And then we don't have a lot of risk. And my platform's really moving slow. I don't know if it's because I'm streaming or what. There we go. There we go. So now this does two things. This gives you more opportunity to win. It gives you more room. One of the statistics that you got to understand is, and this is totally accurate, the bigger your stop, the higher winning percentage you're going to have. So this does give me a greater winning percentage here. But now here's the next thing. What if I take the 600 right here, it comes down here, I might have a chance to get back in and then take the trade. So there really is here's the thing that you're going to come to understand is you've got to develop a system and then follow that system and then just let it happen, because there's really no right answer here. It's always a balance. There's always things that are going to be going back and forth. You never know what's going to happen, and you can't control anything but yourself. So you need to come up with a strategy that works for you, and the best thing to do is to test it. Test a trailing stop. Test moving the stop to break even. Test not moving the stop at all. And I always like to do what I call forward test, is testing it in a live environment, either demo trading or live trading, and test it with like 20 trades and see the difference between the two. So in this situation, I'm really hoping that we stall out here, and we stall out like right here, and then we follow up. Let's take a look at it on 15-minute. So 15-minute, you know, it could get, maybe this would be a good place to look for the stop to 200. It is currently moving down. The MACD is pointing down, but you know, this could turn and we could go back up. So what I'm gonna do is protect my profit and just give myself as much room to let this thing run, because I don't want to give it up. And if I get a break even, I just got to find a new trade. No big deal. So I want to give myself as much possible opportunity to win this trade. And so there's where we're at with that. Okay, now, anybody have any questions about this trade? Any questions? Because I'm going to take a look at a couple other trades, because let me see here. I want to look at some others. So Australian dollar is actually still setting up nicely. So let's keep our eyes on this. It did not break out, which is actually a good thing, because I think we could get down here, maybe down here, maybe down here. And so we'll be watching this. The MACD is starting to drop, so I'd like to see this. So this is going to take some patience, but let's think ahead. We're in a trade now, but we're going to need another trade. So we want to be thinking ahead. We're moving down. When this MACD turns to red, we're going to be really excited, because that could be a great opportunity for another trade. Let's take a look at the pound New Zealand. I like this one too, because why? Look at what's happening. It's starting to cross on this MACD on the pound New Zealand. Let me ask, Tito's got a good question here. If it breaks 21.54, does it have a greater chance? This is 21.54. It possibly, definitely does have if it breaks this level, you can see, I would actually maybe say that this would be the level, which is 21.51. 21.50, let's just say 21.50 to make it fun. If it breaks this level, yeah, it probably could drop down to my entry. Maybe it would drop right here, because this is a level, and this moving average might be the place it stops, but it might go right back to my entry. Absolutely. That was one of the reasons why I said I could put my stop right here. So let's move it back. I could put my stop right here, $600, still a good trade. That way, if it comes back down, I can get re-enter. But I'm going to give it as much room as possible. Sometimes the market will do spikes just to get people out. It'll fake you out, right? It'll be like, oh, boom, in and out, And so when you realize that could happen, just give it some more room. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to give it room. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. I'd rather have 600 than whatever I have here, which is, what is this? That's 54. I really don't want to win $54, but at least it gives me a chance to watch another setup. So right now I'm looking at the Australian dollar. I'd like this to pull back a little bit more. Let's look where it's at on the 4-hour. The 4-hour is moving lower, and the MACD is starting to cross. So I say that we have some more downward momentum here. I think this downward momentum could get us down here, and then we might want to look at a bounce to the upside. We'll just keep watching that. Let's look at this pound New Zealand again. I like this trade because it's starting to cross on this daily. The last time the daily crossed was pretty nice. You can see it crossed right about here, and we had a nice 950 pip move. With the pound New Zealand, you want to be careful and have wider stops. Tito, go back to the first video in this series, and we have the link for this indicator. It's called the Savvy MACD. It's a custom indicator that I built. Okay, so here we have pound dollar, pound New Zealand. It's crossed up over this 50-period moving average. This is a downtrend, right? This is a downtrend, and so I like sticking with the uptrend. However, if it breaks out of this, that's pretty significant. If it breaks out of this trend line, plus this MACD cross is pretty powerful. So let's look at it on a 4-hour. We've got a little bit of a consolidation here. Consolidation is a great thing because consolidation consolidation means that it's getting ready to make a move. You see right here, consolidated, moved to the upside as a fake, and then went down. But whenever you get this consolidation, you get the move. So I like consolidation. And so right now, consolidation's happening. So let's take it to an hourly time frame. And you can see what we have. We got a little triangle here. You know, we could do this. We got a triangle. If it breaks down, it might go down. If it breaks up, it might go up. Now, my bias, though, is trying to take an up trade. Why? Because the MACD is just crossing. So if we can break out of this, I would really be interested in taking this trade. So since I have, here's the cool thing, right? This is kind of cool. Since I have no risk, this is a little bonus. Since I have no risk on this trade, that means I'm free to open a new trade because I have no risk. So I can now open another trade and actually attempt to make 2 doubles at a time. So I could attempt to double my account twice by having 2 open trades. Because why? Because I have no risk, because this is a break even. So this actually gives me the ability to accelerate the process. And as we do this, as time goes on, we might be able to accelerate it even more. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of the trade opportunities here. Let me look at it on a weekly just to make sure. Yeah, so on a weekly it's moving down, but you can see that it's been moving up. There's the bell, the market's open. So we can do the stock trade now. I was kind of waiting for that to happen. Okay. Get my train of thought back on focus. Okay, so the weekly, if it breaks out of this, guys, if it breaks this on the weekly, that's a really good sign for a bullish trade. It might not. It might hit this and then just continue the down move. But the red, it's been red for a long time on this weekly MACD, and it's starting to lower. This black dot is an indication that it's going to lower, and it's starting to lower. You see the candles are getting smaller. And so let's watch for a nice breakout here. Let's keep our eyes for a nice, strong breakout. I like this triangle break, but I'm going to probably put an entry order right here, and I can do that. So let's do our levels. How many pips is this? This is 116 pips. Let's close this and go to the daily. Let's go to levels. The daily chart is about 300. Okay, so if I did a 300 pip stop loss, what would I need? I'd need to move up 300 pips to double, right? So this is where my target would have to be. This is where my target would have to be. So I could move my target up here. I actually think I'll tighten it a little bit. And this, to be totally honest, this trade could go either way. This trade could go either way. However, I'm more inclined to go long for one simple reason. I only have one reason, and that's because this MACD is crossing. Right? That's the only reason. I like the comment Ben did. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. Open bell, yay. Okay, so Jonathan, let me see. Let me hit this up here. Let me process this. So for those following your trades, is it possible you could make changes to your trades without updating us right away? Yes. It is possible that I could make a move. I mean, this is my account. I'm doing it, so I could make some changes. But for the most part, whatever you see in here is what you're going to get. I'm gonna give you whatever. I'm explaining what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'll update you on everything. You'll be able to follow along. So let's go ahead here. So I need a breakout. I'm going to put an entry order on this, okay? And Tito says that it's a nasty range. This is a nasty range right here. See all that choppiness? See all that choppiness? This move was good. This move was great. See, that move was fantastic. So I'm going to put an entry order here, okay? And why am I going to do that? Because it's a breakout right there. I'm going to put my stop loss below the trend line and below this 200 period moving average or 50 period and below these two candles. So I've got some nice support. I've got a trend line support. I've got moving average support. I've got MACD in my favor. I've got the moving average. I've got a lot of things in my favor. Now, the other good news is that this upward trend line is right where my target is. So if it breaks out to the upside, my target, let's see, my target will be right up where right along this trend wall, and so I don't have to break a trend. So it gives me a nice opportunity to get into the trade. So this is the trade, and it's really cool that we can take another trade. So I'm going to actually do this right now, and I'm going to put the order in. So I'm just trying to see why I didn't put the order in. Click the button. It's not working. Just trying to see what's going on here. Experts. It says, I don't know, maybe there wasn't enough money in the account. Oh, there it went. Okay, it was just slow. Wow, my platform's slow today. Okay, so there we have it. The order is now in. Right here, entry. Oh, wrong chart. Right here, my entry is at 190.71. There we go. Okay, good stuff. All right, so now, now I gotta go to the stocks. I gotta go to the stocks. Let me pull up my my platform here. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, before we get into the stock side, I'm going to take just a minute to share a little commercial about one of my services, and it's called the Dream Trades Monthly Alerts. Let me pull up the link for it, and we're going to post in the chat. But I really want to help traders have success. And that's why I started the Dream Traders. That's why I'm doing this channel. And so I've got a pretty cool product for people that are interested in the stock side of things. And it's called Dream Trades, and it's low cost, and it's really simple for beginner type stuff, but the results are really good. And so let me show you what it looks like here. I'm going to post that link, or the link should be posted here in the chat if you guys are interested. Oops, that's the wrong link. But let me talk about that link first. That link is the first link I posted. It didn't copy. My computer's acting crazy today. The first link didn't. Oh, there we go. The first link is my spreadsheet. Let's talk about that first. You guys can all access the spreadsheet and follow along. So I will even keep some notes in here if I make any changes. So I'm going to just put some notes. And so then now I'm going to say Euro USD is now at break even. Okay, so we have notes. So you guys can follow along. And then I just took a Forex trade. We're not sure if it entered, but we're going to say GBP NZD. And so Not entered yet. So as we make trades, you guys can follow along and see how everything progresses. And so also while I'm here, I want to make sure you guys click that subscribe button so you don't miss this, and the notification so you don't miss any of this stuff, because this is really good. I won't forget, Jonathan. Trust me. I know I've been going forever. I might be too slow, but I want to take my time. I'm not going to forget. Actually, let's do that right now. Let's do that right now. Oh, wait, I was going to do my commercial. Haha. Let me finish the commercial. Dream Trades. It's a monthly service. It's $197. You get 12 alerts. And what we do is we do an in-depth research report. Like, I have an entire team of people that go above and beyond. And we have some really cool stuff that we do with this. And I have kind of an investment philosophy that I've adopted where it helps with my growth strategy. And it's this. It's a very simple strategy, and I'll share it with you. I find a growing industry, and then I find the best stock in that industry. Okay, so here's a great example. Tesla. And I'm mentioning Tesla because that's not on the list. And the reason I didn't put Tesla on the list is because everybody knows about Tesla. But electric vehicles is a new growing industry, and Tesla's the market leader. And so you just do your research, you make sure it's a good company, and you find that. If you follow those 2 points, you'll do really well. So I just gave you all the secrets. You don't have to buy this. You can do all of it on your own. But we do the research, and we do a lot of research. And so far, we actually doubled our account so far. And the cool thing about this is it's simple. It only takes 10 minutes a month. You read the report, you make a trade. It's for really beginner type people. And my daughter, who's 22, started last year, and she has doubled her money using this strategy. So that's it. You can go ahead and sign up if you're interested. If not, that's fine too. All right. So let's go ahead now and update the trade. So here we go. So this is CRM. Okay, CRM. I got in, and it's up a little bit today. I got in on Wednesday, and luckily for us, we got a better order. I dropped the price, and so my entry order price was pretty good. And I've just got to get my other platform up here because it's I'm trading on a different account. And so currently that trade is actually still down right now, even though the price is higher, and that's just because of it's down $42. But today we're up 75. So let's look at the table here. And that is a July. It's a July contract. So we can look at the July contract. This is the wrong stock. CRM. Okay, so it's a July. There's ours at 220 and 249. I got in at about 230. So we probably could, if we put an order in, we could probably sell this for a profit. You can see it's selling at 184 right now, but it's been moving up today. So that's it. We're in the right path. We're in the right direction. We can look at the chart here. It's moving up. We are going to have some trouble at the 232 level, but I'm hoping for a breakout. A trade I just did, and this was included. I'm giving you guys a hint. This was included in the Dream Trades monthly alerts. I have an in-depth research report, and the trade I just did is very similar to this, was Wayfair. So you see how Wayfair hit the bottom, and then it hit that, and then it popped to the middle, then it came down, and then it went way crazy. And I did really well on this trade, and that was included in the Dream Trades monthly alerts as well. All right, so that's that. Another stock that I wanted to let me go back to CRM here real quick, and and we'll get to it. At the end, I'm going to give you guys my new stock trade. So hang in there with me. I appreciate everybody's patience. You guys are such an awesome audience. Right, Greg. So Greg, the CRM, if you didn't tune in on Wednesday, CRM was the options trade. So CRM is only $2. It's a 20, I got in for $2.30. It's a $200 stock, but I was able to buy it for $2, right? So if you don't know how options work, you can buy them much cheaper. And so let's go ahead and look at the options chart. So I bought the option here at $2.30. You can see, and so now it's selling at $2.22. And so that's why I was able to do that. It's only $2. Makes sense? So that's why. But you can see these have had nice gains. This option was 20%, this one's 16%, this one's 10%. So as this goes up, we're going to start seeing some pretty big days, and that'll be exciting to see. Okay, another one that I'm looking at is TWTR, and I talked about this before, but I'm actually looking at shorting this one. I think that it dropped below this 50 period. If we look at the monthly chart on this, it's got a very bearish move. And I am looking at taking an options trade on this as it moves down. So let's look at the hourly. It's moved up. If the price action drops a little bit more, I'm not ready to take it yet, but if it drops down a little bit more, I'm going to go short on this with an option. So that's the option. Okay, so now just for clarity's purposes, I'm done with options. I've updated the CRM trade. Now I am moving on to stocks, and this is going to be a little. Let me just show you this CRM trade one more time. But this is going to be the stock trade in a minute. So you can see right now my entry on this was $3.21, and it's currently down $42 because it says the trade price. Oh wait, that's not my entry. What was my entry? Oh, my entry was $2.30 right now. And so it's actually at $3.30. So it is going up, and I should be able to close this with a profit first soon. But again, I'm trying to get a 500% return on this. So I need this $2.30 to go up to $10. That's my goal. And I could actually put an order in right now in order to do that. I can put an order in. To do that. So you just click on the option and you click close, and then you click full, and then I'll put the price in. So I want to sell it at $10.30, which is 5 times, and I'm going to put the order as good to cancel. And so now that order is in to close that at $10.30. So there we go. Hopefully we get that triggered. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at some stock stuff here. So I'm going to go over a couple just to give you an idea how this works. I've already picked out the one that I want to trade, and take a look. Let's take a look at VUZI, and this is one I've already doubled, right? I already doubled my VUZI. So this was the chart I showed you. This stock is expected to grow about 30%, and let's go to a daily time frame. I look at that, and I got in down here, and it went up very nicely. And of course, I had no idea it was going to do that. It was going sideways forever, but then when it took off, it's like, yes. So it got in, and then it consolidated, and then it took another move. So this is the kind of opportunity. But I think that there's still more opportunity with this, because if it's growing about 30% per year, I think there's a really good opportunity. So I'm watching this as well. I'm watching it. I'd like to see this pull back. If we can get a pullback down to 8 or to the top of this trend channel, around 790, I think this would be ideal. You don't always get those pullbacks, but if we did get some profit taking and a pullback, this would be great, because then it only needs to go from 7 up to 14. Another one that I'm looking at is this one, FNKO. Now this one has gone already doubled. I'm looking for stuff that's already doubled and with an opportunity of it doubling again. This has gone from $3 all the way up to, right now it's at $11.47. So, and as you can see, I already do have a small position on this because I'm anticipating. This is not this is just another trade I have, not the big one. But $11.50 right now, it's right at the bottom of this trend line. Let's go ahead and look at an hourly. If we break this trend wall here, if I'd like to see it bounce off the bottom here and then break that, I think we could go easily from 11.13 up to 13, which is a pretty nice move. But then once it breaks this line, I think that it's really going to have a lot of action. So I don't know that it's going to break this one, because this is a very powerful level. Let's look at it. It's a very powerful level right here, and then it gapped down. And so if it breaks that, that'll be very powerful. It's already filled the gap, and now it's looking to break that level. So really like this one. I'm already in it a little bit, but I'm thinking about adding more. I'm actually going to save probably the one I'm going to trade to last. I haven't totally made up my mind yet. The other one is another nice stock that this year had a very big move. It went from $3 all the way up to 12. And so now it struggled again and went back down, and now it's trying to find its way again. And so it's got good growth potential. It's CXDO, good growth potential, looking for a breakup. You know, if it goes right now, if I got in here, it went to 6, it could get back up to 12, and it could go beyond that as well. So it's got a nice uptrend. Things are moving good on it. And I think with the growth, it needs a couple earnings catalysts to make this happen. Right, it's just waiting for that structure break. Absolutely. And let's keep going down the list. Now this is another one here, and this is, I've already been trading this one a lot. This one is Hexo, and you can see here, this has like a 50% potential growth. It's already gone from 138 all the way up to 7, so it's already doubled. And I actually have traded this one as well and doubled a couple times on it, believe it or not. And now it's pulling back down, and I think we could go. And as you can see, I do have some trades in here already, and this one's for a double as well. This is just stuff that I already had going. But this particular trade, I am up nicely on it, and I'm up about 75%, and it just needs to go another $1 to get up to the double, to the 100%. So really what I like to do with stocks is stick with one sector at a time. Okay, if I'm trading one sector, and I like to find growth stocks, somebody that's doing something new, something different from everybody else. And that gives them an opportunity to be the leader in their market. Because if you remember the Dream Trades report, where I send you guys a monthly report, those monthly reports are done based off of finding the leader in a new field. But these stocks are more of, I'm looking for somebody doing something totally new. Okay. And yes, you could use options on this. Absolutely. You could totally use options, and volatility is not an issue. Use options. I just use stocks because I want to show people how to trade stocks, right? I'm using options for the other challenge, because I want to use options. I could use options on these low dollar ones too. So that's actually a really good idea, Jonathan. We might, as we progress with our options trading, I'm going to put this up because that's a good question. And for those of you guys, just so you know, for those of you, on Wednesdays, we're doing the giveaways. For those of you guys that are asking good questions, we're going to definitely be remembering you for the giveaways. So think of the good questions. I really appreciate it. It helps me do a better job, and it makes it more interesting for other people, because when people ask good questions, everybody gets to learn the answer. So I really appreciate that. All right, so we got Hexo here. And you know, when you're doing something like this, the hardest part is making the decision. Like, oh man, which one do I take? Because they're all really nice looking setups. And then this is the last one. This is one I'm pretty excited about. This is Fubo. This thing was a rocket beast. Okay, this thing went from $5 all the way up to 62, and now we've had a really big pullback. And so my thought on this is that I want to go with Fubo over the others. And the main reason, so I did research on this. They're a leader. They're a TV company. Okay, it's called Fubo TV. They don't make televisions, but they're doing content, and they're new, and they're really growing rapidly. Now, the cool thing about this is they got a 62% expected growth rate, and they had a huge pullback, and they've already grown. So people, look at the volume. People are excited about this thing. People are paying attention about this. You see, here, nobody knew anything about it. Even when it was going from 5 to 22, still nobody knew anything about this, right? But guess what? Now it's awake. Everybody knows about it. It's kind of cool to find these hidden gems like this one down here. I would have loved to find it down here. But the problem when you find the hidden gems is you might have to hold them for a while because no one knows about them. And once the people start figuring it out, then a lot of people are trading this. Like if we look at the volume on this one, yesterday the volume on that was 52 million. So that's a lot of volume. And today we're down a little bit, but we had a bounce off of this level and we broke out. So this is a trade I really like, and I probably will go with this one over everything else just because of the potential move. It's already moved a lot. It has to move more again, though. Since I'm buying it at pretty expensive at $33, that's pretty expensive. So it has to go up to 63. It has to go up here in order to hit our goal. But I think that with the movement that we had, I think we could see that happen again. So let's go ahead and look at it on a lower time frame here just to kind of see. This level is pretty powerful. This 36.14. I think if we bounce off that, it'd be pretty good. On the daily chart, though, we're still a strong uptrend. 15-minute, you can see we're moving up. Yesterday was a nice move. This is a nice pull. If we get a little bit more movement, I'd like to take this one for sure. Not to say the other ones aren't good. So if we remember back, just to review, we reviewed Vuzi, V-U-Z-I, Fubo, F-U-B-O, Hexo, H-E-X-O. All of those are pretty good. And I think that there's a great opportunity for all of them. Right, it's usually past level 1, Ben. Ben's just made a good comment. He said, by the time retail finds out, it's usually past level 1. But you know what? Level 2 is the best. Level 2 can really roll, especially if it's a real company and they like this thing could really take off. And so the way that I'm going to be trading this is where I'm doubling. And we're going to talk about this. When I get to the point where we're doubling, I might take like half off and then keep half, because a stock like this could start trading at like $200 if it really takes off, right? So you could get in at 30, but don't think that you're at the top, because 30 could go to 200, could go to 400, could go to 1,000. You spend $50,000 on a stock, and it's going to be a little more long term. You might have to hold a couple years, but you put $50,000 in on a stock, that goes from $33 up to 500, you do the math, report back to me and tell me how much that is. I have no clue. My brain doesn't work that well, but I will tell you it's a lot of money. And, you know, that's the kind of trades we want to find for sure. So yes. So I'm just going to hold off on this a little bit more before I make my final decision. I'm going to look at all the charts. Oh, and I got one question here. I want to share this. I have a lot of brokers that I recommend. One of them is Tastyworks. Another is Webull. I'm going to post a link in the chat, and you can get two free shares or something like that if you open it up in Webull. They're limited. They only take clients from like 10 countries, so it's US and a few others. But if you're in that, just click the link and you can get 2 free stocks. And so I get stocks as a bonus too. Just full disclosure, I get money for recommending it. You know, it's always interesting, right? When someone refers to you something, you always got to ask yourself the question: why are they doing this? If they're looking at benefiting, which I benefit by referring that. Well, then are they doing it just because they're benefiting or because they like it, right? And so for me, I actually like it because you can see I'm using the platform now. It's great. So it's really good, actually. I absolutely love it. But anyways, that's that. You can check it out. And Tastyworks also. All right. So make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like button, and now I'm going to go through, hit the notification. Actually, just give me a like right now. I would appreciate it. If this content has been good, give me a like right now. Ben, the answer to that question, with stocks, do you factor in the VIX with your picks? No, I don't look at that because I'm just looking at growth. And I'm looking at a catalyst to move the price up. And I know that if I get growth and I move the price up, then my option price is going to increase. I do look at the delta. So let's go ahead and look at buying options on this. I look at the delta. So let's say we want to do $50,000 in options, which again, that could take us insane amount of money if this doubled. So let's just do this right now. The option where it's at is $11.20. Okay. Now, I don't look at the VIX. I look at the delta. Okay. The delta is 65 cents. Okay. So that tells me this is crazy. This is literally, I'm about to blow your guys' mind. So be ready. Hit that like button. Okay. So the delta is 0.65, okay? That's the delta, but we got to figure out something first. If I was going to buy $50,000 of this, you guys are going to go crazy. $50,000, that's $11, or it's $11.55 is the price. So what we do is you divide 11.55 divided by 50,000, okay? Whoops. Wrong way. This is why I didn't do very well in school. 50,000 divided by 11.55 is 4,329. So that's contracts. Okay. So, and we can actually do a buy order on this to get it to show you how much it would cost. So let's do it. Buy. So let's see how many contracts I can actually buy. 4,000. Now that's 4 million. My math was wrong a little bit. Okay. Let's try 400. Nope. Let's try 100. Nope. 50. No, not quite. We're going to go with 45. Nope. We're going to go with 40. Okay, there we go. So we buy 40 contracts. But remember, each contract is worth 100 shares. So it's 40 times 100. So it's 4,000 shares. Okay, so we are getting 4,000 shares for this at 11.55, right? Now, the delta tells us how much the option price is going to go up. So the delta is 65. So if this goes up $30 to 60, like what we were planning, we do 30 times 0.65. All right, so that's $19 is what the option will be worth. It would increase by that much, right? So then you times that by, the option price would go up. What would the option price be? It would be roughly 11 plus 19. It'd be roughly $30. So the option price is $30. Okay. So now remember that it's $30, and then we're going to times that by the 4,000 shares. And that's $120,000, right? So that is a really nice gain. And that's how you can calculate how options works, right? So yeah, Ben, you helped me out. I should have looked at that earlier. Okay. So yeah, you're just thinking about learning options. Yeah, and I talked a little bit about it Wednesday too. But with this particular one, I'm actually not going to buy options. I'm going to stick with stock. So let's go ahead and one quick review on the stocks, and then I'm going to do it. I'm going to make my decision. So we got Hexo. Hexo on the daily time frame. It's bottoming out right here at 631. Current price is 657. If I got in at 657, it would need to go to $12. And so let's zoom out a little bit, get this a little smaller. And the thing about this is during the big, this is a cannabis company, by the way. And during the big boom, it went a little crazy. It went all the way up to 33, and then the cannabis market fell apart. But if this thing takes off, this thing could go again because their revenues have been growing really good. They're predicted to grow the revenues by 50%. So this thing could go right back up. I would say it could easily get back up to 33. And then once it's there, then you look at what the company's doing and how much they're growing. But you can look, even today, it's really doing good. So it's going to be a very difficult decision. I already have some of this open though. And so that's a good thing for me. And I'm already up about 70% on that trade. So that's playing into my decision. If you're doing something like this, you want to play into your decisions about the other trades. Another one, and again, sometimes trading what you know is good. I've been trading this Vuzi for a while, made really good revenue on it. So trying to get in on this one again. This one's in new territory. It's never traded this high before, I believe, which is a great sign because you can see the last time we had a big move. We went right up to where it was at. It consolidated, and then it took off. I think it could take off again. Again, we watched the growth. This is predicted to grow by 30%. The Fubo is the one that was supposed to grow about 60%. FNKO is another one. And this is a pretty cool company too. They do toys. And like, toys? Who buys toys? But these are like little figurines. They're bobblehead characters, and they're doing other kinds of stuff. And the cool thing about them is, the kids are going nuts over these toys. I've seen them launch new ones on social media, and they like sell out in a day. So it's pretty, the revenues of this have already grown insane. This company's revenues, they're still not profitable, which is why they're so low, but the opportunity to grow is really high. So I think that's really good. I do a lot of research job on finding these. I use Yahoo Finance. I'm on a lot. I follow people like myself. Follow me on Twitter, guys. Yeah, let me put that up here. I can put this. Follow me on Twitter. because I put stuff out like this, right? You can find stuff like this. I do stock trades, Forex trades, option trades, whatever I'm thinking I usually throw out there. And there's other people like me too that do a lot of cool stuff like that. Okay, what software is this? This is Webull. I put the link in the chat because you can get a free stock if you want to try it out. It's limited on the country. So if you're not US, it only allows 10 customers, 10 countries. Okay, so I'm getting sidetracked with questions. No more questions till I pick the stock. Okay, no more. I'm staying totally focused. Let's do, CXDO was the last one. And I will hit all those questions though, if I can. CXDO, it was back at 12. If we get back to 12, it's really close to doubling. I think there's an opportunity for it to do that. It's a pretty nice, they've got some nice growth as well. And it's a pretty good company. So with that being said, let's take a look at Fubo one more time. It's really a toss-up to me between Fubo and Hexo, but I'm going to go with Fubo. So I'm going to make the trade right now, and I'm going to buy the Fubo stock. So let's go ahead and do this. And we're going to buy Fubo. I'm going to put the order in, and let's see if I can get a limit order because I want to get a good price. So current price is trading at it's currently trading at 34.86. So we'll just go with 34. It's actually going up right now. Okay, so let's see here. Put this order in. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let me just do something real quick here. I'm gonna mess with something in my settings. Just hang with me 1 second. Almost got it. Okay, so we should be good now. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab this. And I got my limit order in. Let's see if the price has changed at all. It's 30, it's dropped down a little bit, so I'm gonna get a better price, which is good. Let's check it on a smaller time frame. We're going at, there we go. Why is it saying my buying power is insufficient? That's weird. I don't know what's going on here. Well, I'm going to try one more time here. We're going to try it a little less. I might have to do something. I might have to call them or something. Okay, so there we go. So I'm in the trade. I got in at 34.38. There we go. Actually, Ben, I'm not in the VPN, and there we go. Okay, yeah, Robinhood's very limited. I can post here here's the link right here, right there. I can post it again in the chat. It might be below the video as well. Let's see, copy and post that. Okay, so I got the trade on. It's actually only 30,000 because they weren't letting me do 50. I don't know why. I'll have to find out. I'll add to it when I get the rest. But anyways, it is what it is, and I got the trade. So let's go now to my spreadsheet here, and you guys can access this at any time. So we're gonna go stock account, and the trade was FUBO, and notes were entered with 30,000. So that will probably, either I'm gonna use, I'll figure out what to do with it. So I'll keep you guys updated. I'll either buy another one for 20, or I'll just add another 20 to this one. There's nothing wrong with adding doing another stock. Yeah, actually, in the comments, Jen, who's handling the comments, she just said a lot of people in the staff use Webull. Actually, in my office, everyone in my office does use it. All right, so please hit that like button. Let me know what you're thinking. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll be back on Monday. But let's take a look at the stock trade. Pound New Zealand is knocking hard on the resistance. Hope it bounces up. Well, that is true. It is knocking, and it could be. This could be a short trade. You never know because it is on a downtrend. But this MACD thing is what's got me convinced on that. So we got that. Euro dollar is actually pushing up, man. It's really close to the 2100. We're pushing the highs. Let's look at this on a daily time frame. It's in this little tiny channel right here. If it breaks this bad boy, we're going up. So that's exciting. I might lock in a little bit more because all I need to do is get up here and I'm at double my account, which is pretty cool. So it's nice to be able to see this happen, as well as the Pound New Zealand. So if you didn't, thanks, Josh. I really appreciate it. Oh, wait, I got to keep my word. I promised I would answer questions. So Josh, thanks for being persistent. If I forget something, just keep bothering me, okay? Because, you know, I got focus issues. Okay, so Josh says, what should you do with $1,000 of buying power? Well, Josh, the question is, what are you most comfortable trading? If you only have one account, go off of your experience, what you like, what you think, what you know, what would be easiest for you. My personal recommendation is if you only have $1,000 and you don't have a lot of experience, I would go with a stock account. That's what I would recommend. And I would stick with stocks until you get really good at it. And there's a couple, because you can still, grow rapidly. The thing about growing, but you could also lose rapidly too. Remember, educational purposes only, don't risk what you can't lose. It really depends on your experience. What I try to tell people is I have been doing this for so long and it seems like it's easy. And I'm not saying that I'm really smart or I'm really great or anything, because I'm none of those things, but I've just been persistent and I've just been doing this over and over and over and over again. And that's the thing. And so whatever you want to start with, do something simple and go with it. I prefer to do, I prefer just to do that. I prefer to go simple. So I would say stock personally, but I don't know what your experience is. Okay. Another great question. Jonathan, you're on a roll today. So I talk about stop loss on options, but why not a stop loss on options? So we have a stop here, no stop on options. Okay, so here's why. Because with options, usually the way people trade it is they usually will just risk the entire amount on the trade. So I'm going to pull up a little notepad here if I can get one. And let's say that you have $10,000 in your account, right? And you want to risk a 5% of your account on each trade. Okay. Now, if you do that, what's 5%? That's $500, right? Well, what you do is you just take an option that's worth 500, and the entire option is the stop loss. You either win it or you lose it. If you lose the whole $500. So you don't need a stop loss because you only risked 500 because that was the cost of the option. When an option expires, you can never lose more than what you paid for it, right? So we pay for these options that, like today, the option that I spent on CRM was like $600 and some. That option I bought on Wednesday. I can't lose more than that. So that's what I risk. So that's how I do that. And so each trade is the whole thing. The whole thing is the risk, right? Whereas with Forex, you have a $10,000 in your account, you can, only risk 500 and you place your stop. But with options, you either win it or you lose it, and it's your 500 when it expires. When it expires, worthless. So that's one of the reasons why, and that's part of the experience of learning. Options is probably, here's how I would recommend. I'd say go stocks, and then Forex, then options. Options can make you the most money. So you could start with options first, but you don't even need to jump around either. You could just do stocks and do, make as much as you needed. You could just do options. You could just do Forex. You don't need to jump around. My problem is I've always had this shiny object syndrome, and I always think I can do everything. And so I tried everything, and to this day, I am getting better at doing less stuff. I'm learning the value that less is more. I'd rather do one thing really well than 5 things not so good. So a lot of people are like me, because I have indicators and stuff that I sell, and I get people, they're like, what indicator do you want me to buy? And I get, just pick one, use that indicator. Don't buy all of the indicators. Just pick one, use it, because they all do different things, and you can do really well with that, right? You don't need tons of them. You just go with it. So right now I'm currently up $1,500 on this Euro trade. We're having a little bit of problem with this level. I am currently I kind of like where I'm at though, because this the MACD is just starting to rise here. So I think we could have some room. Let's see, on the 4-hour, the MACD is just kind of gaining in speed. This 200 period moving average is giving me a fit right now. And so we'll see how that works. I'm on a 4-hour time frame. 200 moving average is a real pain. But okay, that is it for today. I will keep everyone updated. Remember, in the links below, there's going to be a description. There's going to be links to trading platforms. You can get access to my spreadsheet, the Dream Trades monthly alerts, which I love that product. And so be back on Monday because we're going to give updates on all the trades, and I'll do some more question and answer, some more education. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to do some more giveaway stuff. So again, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification so you can get all of the updates. All right, well, that's it, everyone. Thank you so much. This was probably my most fun session because you guys really did a great job of answering my questions or asking me good questions, and I really appreciate that. So shout out to all of you guys that did a great job on helping me. All right, well, that's it, and actually, we'll see you guys soon. Bye.